Marjorie Taylor Greene did a bombshell interview with the New York Times where she revealed all of Trump's dirt. She's been doing it here and there, right? A little dirt there, a little dirt. Now she did a dumpster truck of dirt. And I want to read you some key moments, including the phone call. But first, this is the cover page for the New York Times profile on her after she left MAGA, which is pretty intense, honestly. It's a much cooler photo than they picked for the Vanity Fair stuff. So I'm sure she's happy with it. It's pretty epic. She's actually going to comment on MAGA women's looks. What? That comes up in the article. Kind of crazy. But 7 splashiest Trump attacks by Marjorie Taylor Greene in Blockbuster New York Times feature. We'll go through this. The big one, which we kind of already heard about, but is crazy every time you hear it. After Marjorie Taylor Greene held a news conference at which she threatened to name abusers in the Epstein files, Trump called her. Greene was in her Capitol Hill office. Everyone could hear him yelling at her. According to Greene, Trump replied, "My friends will get hurt." I know you're numb to this, but we now have multiple confirmations of people getting phone calls from Trump or his staff, in this case, Trump himself, for him to scream at Marjorie for doing a press conference with victims. That should be a scandal worthy of resignations. If this were Obama or Biden, they would have resigned by now out of shame, humiliation, disgrace. And kids would be reading in their history books about way worse than Nixon, the disgraceful scandal that was Trump, and how much like past historical wrongs, America cried itself to sleep for years trying to understand why it voted this disgusting pedophile associator into office. Sorry if you're kind of a center-right person right now. I love you. I'm a little aggressive. I'm a little on something right now. Hey, love in my heart. It's okay. We can unite around opposition to what Trump is doing in covering for this sex trafficking ring. That's what it is.
I love minors.
Yeah. You can't call someone screaming at them for standing with victims saying my friends will get hurt. Because guess what? How many friends does Trump have? Trivia question, Jaden. How many friends does Trump have?
Real friends, probably close to 0.
Yes.
Networking friends, probably many.
Yeah. Here's my argument. He's being honest there. His friends will get hurt. He has one true friend, and that's the person he sees in the mirror every day when he's lathering up on 3 inches of makeup. His friends will get hurt in the sense that he would. That's the only friend that he's ever been loyal to, other than Epstein. Whoops. Then you have a few other things. Greene, okay, this actually makes me kind of mad. Marjorie Greene broke the news to us that apparently Trump is a fake Christian. Oh. Well, shoo-wee. Who knew that? You were playing along with that. I'm happy now you're not, but you were for so long. Any comment on that? While I read these next anecdotes to you, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. And then if you want to make a real impact in the lives of real kids who desperately deserve a loving, supportive family and don't deserve to be moved from one house to another in the foster care system, we're fundraising for an organization, the Miracle Foundation, that gives the resources and support necessary to make sure that kids have that support system around them. Go, if you want more information, I did a whole segment explaining this fundraising effort. Go to the homepage of our channel just by clicking the little profile photo. It'll take you here, and then click on the video that says I need help, because I need your help to help these amazing kids who need our support. And I explained it all there, but we're fundraising. I'll link that video in the description of this one as well if you want to go watch it, or below that we'll link the fundraising page if you already have heard enough and you want to go chip in. We're trying to raise $250,000, which would mean so many kids would get access to crucial resources so that they can have a loving family around them, a stable one, not having to move from one to another. And the work that the Miracle Foundation does is amazing. And we can actually do something. A lot of this is infuriating and scary. We can actually do something to help people. And that's what we're doing. So please do go either in the description or to the YouTube homepage to find that video and then find the fundraising page. So one of the things that everyone has seen forever is that Trump, for the sake of politics, pretends to be Christian and believe Christian things, but then he gets asked, what's your favorite verse? And says, oh, that's very private. It's very private. I wouldn't be able to share that because my favorite verse is the one that talks about spilling seed onto the floor. Or as Bobby would call it, harvest. I just really think that is fun. Or the one about if your wife, if your sisters, if your brothers, what is it? If your brother dies, like go bang your sister. Wait. If your brother, I said that all wrong. That sounded so wrong. If your brother dies, go be with your sister-in-law, your brother's wife. Does that make sense? I think that's a verse in the Bible. Thou shalt. Sorry, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to be silly. I'm sorry. Okay. So that's his favorite verse, though. And he couldn't name it, or he gets asked Old Testament or New Testament. Which, by the way, I hate when people ask that question. You an Old Testament person or a New Testament person? Like Coke or Pepsi? Aren't they like supposed to kind of be together? Aren't they kind of a connection of something? They're very different. If I had to pick, it would be the one with the Jesus stuff in it. He seemed nicer than some of the Old Testament God stuff. But weird question. He didn't know about that one, the whole Bible, all of it. It's just amazing the way, just the way that it is, I think was Trump's answer. And Greene's break begins not with policy, but with faith. She told the Times a moment at Kirk's memorial permanently changed how she viewed Trump. After Kirk's widow forgave her husband's alleged assassin, Trump took to the stage to reflect that the late conservative activists do not hate his opponents and wanted the best for them, only to then add, that's where I disagree with Charlie. I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them. Greene claims she recoiled at that remark. That was absolutely the worst statement. I just know where his heart is, and that's the difference with her having a sincere Christian faith and proves that he does not have any faith. Y'all, I just found out that if you only eat ice cream for every meal whenever you want, that won't be good for you. Have you heard of that? That's what this feels like. I just found out that Trump is like divisive and doesn't really love Jesus. What would Jesus do? Those bracelets? Not support Trump. I can tell you that. And then she's like, it was so weird how he said he doesn't want the best for his opponents. What? That's his whole thing. He said, I am your retribution in his announcement speech. Where were you? Greene claims, this is number 2 splashy headline, Trump privately admitted he wanted to protect his friends from any Epstein revelation. So we looked at that. Greene blames Trump for training GOP on toxic politics. He made it really toxic, she says. Yep, so did you. Greene warns Trump has a woman problem. Now, this one's a little less expected. I haven't heard this as much from Marjorie, but I mean, we all know it. When did you realize that? Was it the grab her by the pussy comment? Was it the dozens of sexual assault allegations? Was it the sexual abuse case that he was found liable of engaging in? Or was it the Epstein cover-up? At what point in the last decade did you find out that maybe he has a woman problem? The Congresswoman gave her husband, Real America's Voice chief White House correspondent Brian Glenn, a blunt diagnosis of Trump's attacks on female reporters in the press corps. Of course, recently he called a female reporter a piggy. Despite one amiable interaction that seemed to counter the trend, she told Glenn the president was playing nice because he knows he has a woman problem. People say I got a woman problem, but I don't like women at all. Maybe Trump would sing. There's Brian Glenn, looking fresh as a daisy, as always. Green feared being murdered after. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that right after we were laughing about the Brian Glenn thing. She did say she was scared of being murdered after Trump called her a traitor. Traitors are put in prison or put to death, she told her husband at the time. That's what he just called me. They married? I thought they just got engaged. Exciting. Maybe got eloped. Maybe a little shotgun wedding. Wait, I don't know if that works. But the Republican recounted thinking, am I going to get murdered or one of my kids because he's calling me a traitor? Yeah, so I mean, again, something that she's called or has lavished fuel or thrown fuel onto the fire of division and language like that. Okay, I get it. And that's horrible that you got a bunch of threats. What do you think it does when you call Democrats the party of pedophiles? So I'm glad she's coming to a realization about this. Green then compared Trump's response to the death threats to J.D. Vance's. And apparently Vance reached out and was actually concerned. Marjorie Green said he was very sympathetic and kind. One White House official showed the Times Green's text from that time, fuming that no one would condemn the comment. None of you even gives a shit, she said about the White House. That's a crazy sentence. One White House official showed the Times Green's text from that time. Times Green's text from that time. Sally sells seashells at the seashore. Green says GOP leaders try to put her back in her box. Green described the Republican leaders' reaction to her post-Trump attack media appearances. And she said that all of a sudden I'm in places that you're not supposed to be. So she went on shows that MAGA folks didn't like her going on. She mocked their alleged scorn and fury with a mocking impression as deliberately sexist. Little MTG, you get back in your little effing box in the kitchen and shut up and cook us dinner and stay there, is what she's saying these Republicans were thinking about her. So some wild revelations from that New York Times profile. Also on the Epstein subject, you have the Miami Herald's Julie Kate Brown, who was one of the major reporters to break the Epstein story and leading to his arrest, wrote on X, does somebody at the DOJ want to tell me why my American Airlines booking information and flights in July 2019 are a part of the Epstein files? Why was the DOJ monitoring me? Really suspicious. So potentially a journalist being monitored there by Trump's DOJ in the first term as she was breaking the story. Or maybe not. Maybe they were just, making sure American Airlines didn't delay her flight. Making sure she got all of her pretzels. And then Marjorie lays into what she calls sexualization, the Mar-a-Lago sexualization. She disliked I've never seen that word before, unctuous, hedonistic posturing at Mar-a-Lago. In particular, she told me recently, I never liked the MAGA Mar-a-Lago sexualization. I believe how women in leadership present themselves sends a message to younger women. She continued, I have 2 daughters and I've always been uncomfortable with how those women puff up their lips and enlarge their breasts. I've never spoken about it publicly, but I've been planning to. Yeah, I mean, Brian Glenn definitely puffs up his face. So I don't know if he's talking about him, because we've seen him go and get his Botox, which is, great, fine. But he definitely, I think, went to the wrong doctor for that. The wrong doctor. You don't want a budget. You don't want to have a tight budget when you're doing the face work. But if you'll take that down for a second, Jaden. What she's talking about is there's a famous trend. I'm not saying I care. I don't care. Look however you want to look. But a lot of prominent Mar-a-Lago folks, you see on screen here, Laura Loomer, Laura Trump, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and Matt Gaetz being compared. And this was a headline about plastic surgeons explain the rise of the Mar-a-Lago face. And I'll mute that because that will get copyrighted. So there's Laura Loomer. I think that's an unfair photo of her on the right there. That's a fair one of Matt Gaetz. The comparison, that's Kimberly Guilfoyle before and after going MAGA. That's Laura Trump, I guess, before and after going MAGA. There's whoever that, Kristi Noem. There's Ronna McDaniel, the former RNC chair. I mean, listen, it's not something I really would comment on, except for Matt Gaetz, you know. He messed up. But be who you want to be. Do what you want to do with your face. But Marjorie has a problem with that. And let's just read again. So it was the puffed up and then the enlarged breasts, I guess she took an issue with. Maybe Don Jr. is who she's thinking of. Maybe.
Fact check, true.
I don't know. Podcast listeners were showing that iconic photo of sort of, it looks like a rocket's taking off, but it's coming out of his chest, you know, which is always fun. Then you have Scott Jennings saying this.
This is the kind of divide in MAGA, which is a relatively...
Talk about busty. About Don Jr. I'm talking about Don Jr.
new phenomenon. I mean, there was always a little bit there, but I mean, I don't think...
I said talk about busty. Woo! Did you hear me?
Yep, no, I think the audio glitched for a second.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
If I were to say what the most surprising story was, I would say Marjorie Taylor Greene becomes not just a Trump critic, but
MTG becomes a lib. I mean, that's what happened this year.
Yeah.
She got a little bit out of shape because the president wouldn't.
Stop it. It's true. I do think she actually is doing all this because she was offended that Trump didn't support her running for Senate or governor in Georgia. So a lot of this, I don't know if it's genuine. Maybe part of it is. I agree with that assessment a little bit. What I don't agree with, don't you dare tarnish the word lib. Because I got the...
Because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all.
A lot of the people who would disparage me would say, you're just a lib. True. I agree. And I some people have told me I single-handedly brought back pride of using the word lib to describe oneself. I don't say that, but people say it. And we're proud libs. And now I hear these stories of, you know, fans of our show being in bars and going, can I meet you, to a girl? And them going, depends. And then they go, I'm a lib. And they do the bite that we went over on the bonus show. And immediately the women are like, have my babies.
Many of them came numerous times. Everybody's coming.
And literally, I mean, this is what we're hearing anecdotally, all because of the power of saying, I'm proudly a lib, which differentiates you from some people and other people on either side. It's great. Liberal, beautiful word. Try to disparage me with that. But you know when it will become disparaging? If you group in Marjorie Greene with libs, which is what he just did there. She became a lib. No, she didn't. She just probably cynically got upset with Trump, but publicly took issue with him covering up a pedophile ring. Doesn't make you a lib. Makes you a normal person. And she's not a normal person. Even a non-normal person was able to be a normal person here. What's your excuse, Scott? And then apparently Pam Bondi is having DOJ prosecutors try to probe Obama and Biden. What you probing me for? Stop probing me. Listen. Tell me what you see down there. Whatever. They're probing. I ate a big lunch. Don't judge me. Why is it that color? All right. So they're probing them for trying to prove that they engaged in a criminal conspiracy of lawfare against Trump. I mean, it's just so transparent, so sickening, and so worthless.